The following is a podcast from a qualified senior care provider heard on the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard on Google, Apple, Spotify, and more on the internet, as well as this radio station. And we are here with Tracey Harvey, Vice President of Cadence Living, and Cadence is a brand new property here in the Pacific Northwest. But to all of our listeners, Cadence has been around for a really long time. And there's some really big things to come. So, narrow in and listen, because this is senior living at its best and best value. And I think that's one of the things that I love about talking to Tracy. And, we've been talking up so far a little bit about, what it's like overview with the Kent area, and what are the amenities specifically offered in a community like Cadence. But Tracy, I'm glad you're back. I want to talk a little bit about, if I'm a senior that lives at home and maybe thinking about making that downsize step, what are the considerations that I need to make even before I think about where I'm going to?
I think first you want to just kind of consider your current situation, and we like to meet you wherever you are. But oftentimes it's consulting with your family, or it's if you live in a multi-level, if you want one level, if you're at risk for falling, or if you've had some sort of fall and you're uneasy and unsteady on your feet, you want to make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
If you're having to, contract services in a lot, like if you're having someone do the house and clean the house and bring you meals, or even taxing your family with that. Sometimes sons and daughter-in-laws is what I talk to a lot. It gets hard to take everyone to their doctor's appointment every single day of the week, counting their families, on their own families. So those are the things to consider. Is like, no one wants to be a burden on their family, and you want to still maintain a really independent lifestyle. So how you can do that is by visiting a community and seeing all the different departments and team of passionate people that are assembled that can help make it really a lovely value for your money when you move in, because you'll have your meals prepared. You could have your housekeeping service once a week. You could have transportation if you needed transportation. Some people are still driving when they move in, so they don't need transportation.
Absolutely. And
but
like when we talked, and like what we talked about with the whole independent living side, a lot of times people think when they're going to move into a community, it's going to be super expensive because it's independent living, right? Or, it's assisted living that you're paying for that you don't need. This is the beauty of your community, is you can actually come in as an independent apartment. And I love the fact that you have a floating license. And for our listeners, we kind of outlined that, but there's different types of licensing. And sometimes if somebody needs assisted living or memory care, oftentimes they have to be cornered off into an area. The floating license allows you to be a fully integrated community so that spouses can stay together, which is really, really important. And I think one of the things that's really a great feature of what you guys do offer. So if I was going to move into an apartment, you said you have studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. Tell us a little bit about your apartments.
Well, our apartments truly, and this is, just coming from all the tours that we've been giving this week, but you don't see apartments like this usually, even when you're in family housing, because the ceilings are, on the first level, 12 feet high. The other levels are 10 feet high. We have full kitchens. We have balconies on each apartment. Each has a view. So, you can have a view of Mount Rainier, or you can have a view of the other. And for those alumni of Kent High School, people are loving the fact that we have a dugout and a whole outdoor patio setting that overlooks the Kent baseball field.
Oh, so, fun.
People are loving that because, their sons and daughters played there and they played there. And so there's that lovely touch as well. So it's very much a community that was really purpose built with everyone, kind of in mind. So we could, actively have programming that we need and have the space to do it. There's salon on site. There's a barber on site. There's games on site. There's library on site. So, you don't have to get out of your little oasis if you don't want to.
That's great. That's great. And, the other thing that I think is really, really amazing about it is that, there is a mind shift, I think, that goes into moving into senior living. When we think about, we've been doing all these things for ourselves. So you're cooking meals, you're trying to take care of the house, you're trying to, you've got all these cleaning supplies, all of this stuff that, when you move into a community like yours, you're not going to be cooking as much. You're not going to be doing home maintenance as much. You're not going to be doing, maybe it's not maintaining a yard, but you have this nice little balcony that maybe instead you can have some containers of flowers out front or things like that. So you still can have the things you love. It's just done differently. But I think one of the things I really want to zero in on is, you said it several times, is listening to what is important to you. And I think that's the thing that I think a lot of communities don't listen sometimes. And I hear that over and over again from you in the time that we've been together. Tell us a little bit about like how you accommodate interests and hobbies and things like that with seniors.
That's where the ownership and our philosophy of Cadence as a whole truly trickles down with every team member we have. And that's where I'm so passionate about the programs that we do have in place. And as we open, you really do want to listen and to the prospective resident. And so things that are really important that I think adult children may not think of, but to mom and dad, it may be really important. Water pressure. Can I go to arts class anytime I'd like to? Do you have a calendar of events? And it's not just a calendar of events, it's a calendar of events of things that they want to do. That's really, really important. Are we going to have gardening? Yes, we're going to have gardening. So it's just really important. Some other things that have come up that are really important, like family, adult children may think the view is really important to their loved one. Well, it comes to be that they want to actually not just have a view, but the layout is important because they want to be at the end of the building or the hallway because they want to stay active and get their steps in. Sure. When the sons and daughters recently are trying to minimize the steps, they want their loved one near the elevator.
Interesting, yeah.
The parents are saying, hey, no, I need to get my steps in. I'm rehabbing my leg. I want to stay active. And so those are really interesting things to keep in mind. And our hallways aren't so long that they're forever and a day.
No.
And windows at the end of the hallway. It's a home. It's not a hotel.
Yeah.
So it's just all those little nuances that you have to come see it to really believe it. Because I know we try to do a great job showcasing it online, but everyone that comes in the door says, oh my goodness, it's even prettier, or what I wasn't expecting even when I saw the video of it. So,
well, I got to come down one of these days and see it. But
the patios,
here's what I will do now that you're going to be with us on a regular basis.
Yeah,
I would love to someday come down and do a podcast at your building.
Yeah,
we'll just come and we'll put it on YouTube, and we'll sit maybe in your model apartment or something like that.
Or if we could go to the rooftop terrace.
Oh, this summer. Let's do that.
Yeah, that would be
a great idea.
And
so
then
I want to talk a little bit too about the whole idea of keeping people together, and also keeping them together. But there's also the ability that every apartment has just to do that. And that is accessibility. And I think one of the things that by living at home, I think the latest statistics are 75% of broken hips and falls happen in a bathroom of a senior's own home.
Yeah.
That is insane, but it's some outrageous statistic that blew my mind. And it's because the proper safety equipment is not in place in a bathroom, or maybe there's a throw rug on the floor, or there's things like that they trip on, or improper lighting and all those things. When you move into a community like Cadence, not only do you have those things already built in, which is great, like grab bars and all those things that happen, but I think the other thing is there's staff on call 24/7. So if there's a fall, if there's an ability, I know, Tracy, not too long ago, I guess it was about a year ago now, we got a call from a lady that fell actually in her yard. And she was walking on pavers, and she had a walker, but she lived alone in her house, and she was walking out to her garden, and she had some overgrown ivy, and that walker got caught in the ivy, and she fell, and she laid there for 2 hours until somebody found her. It broke my heart when I heard that story, but I realized that this is what happens more often than you realize. It's like those are the kind of things, unfortunately, without proper, areas in a home, it can be a danger zone.
Right.
And so this is the thing when you're looking at potentially, at your loved one aging in their home. What is it going to cost to make those changes so that they can live comfortably? And that's the key. If you move into a community like this, it's already done. And that's the amazing part of that.
The peace of mind will overwhelm, outweigh everything. And this, I don't think people think about this even in their home. They think they have it, but the seamless transition from floor to carpet, from the floor to the balcony.
Exactly.
A lot of those transitions and those subtle things. And just on the tour, I was, one of the big check marks that someone needed was, can I walk into my shower? And, do you have that grab bar? So, because there are, we're new buildings. So yes, that makes it modern in its sense, but the finishings and everything within is very modern, but also the lighting and the
everything
and the colors were all very purposefully picked for our audience.
Perfect. And you have a founders club and it's now open. Tell us about that.
Yes, it's now open and it's so fun I want everyone to be part of it, but we are running out of spots. But it is a club that will give you the most perks and the most benefits for being one of the first to move into our community. The pricing is right, and it
absolutely.
It's it includes your meals, your transportation, everything that we've talked about, but you also get the perk of having your birthday month free for 2 years. So virtually you're paying rent for 11 months. And when we also have a either or kind of option, if people need help downsizing and moving, we can do that. If they need a closet remodel, we could do that. So pets also, we're very pet friendly. We waive the pet fees in the Founders Club.
Awesome.
So the second occupancy fee is waived the first year.
Awesome. And Tracy and I will be right back, and we're going to tell you more about Cadence Living in Kent right after this.
Answers for Elders radio show with Suzanne Newman hopes you found this podcast useful in your journey of navigating senior care. Check out more podcasts like this to help you find qualified senior care experts in areas of financial, legal, health and wellness, and living options. Learn about our radio show, receive promotional discounts, and meet our experts by clicking on the banner to join the Senior Advocate Network at AnswersForEldersRadio.com. Now there is one place to find the Answers for Elders.